Hello, 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 shalom, marhaba, bonjour. different, different people, different languages, trees. When was the last time you hugged a tree? Well, hugging a tree actually increases circulation. Hello, everyone. Almost Shabbat Shalom. We are some days away from Rosh Hashanah, from the head of the year. And really coming into a clarity within ourselves, within intentions, within the actions. Certainty in actions can be revealed, can be cultivated, sorry. This is a great time where we can hone all the energies, everything that we intended for, everything that we intended through to come through us and to be revealed and with clarity and joy and happiness. Okay, so I am here. Let's see. Okay, hello everyone. I guess I won't be able to see you because the sun is right here, shining, bring all this warmth but not too warm, but not too warm. It's just this balance, right? This balance, this even even spread of the warmth. Doesn't have to be too hot or too cold. It's kind of like what is happening now. So Shabbat Shalom, almost Shabbat Shalom to you, to who are here, and we're nearing Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year. I'm going to put these because the head of the year for us in Judaism there are two heads of years. There is April, and there is now. There is Tishrei, and the one in April is the head of the months for the year, and the one for that is in Tishrei, that is this month, Rosh Hashanah, is for us, is for humanity, is for the soul, actually. Right? So from chaos to clarity. Now, this is really the theme that I've experienced for me, and that I'm experiencing and hearing from others around me and not so around me. And okay, let me see here. There we go. Now I'm positioned. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, this portion of the week, ki tavo, and you shall come. Really, so the portions every week, the portions are really bringing into kind of a summary of what we go through throughout the week, what we go through throughout 2 weeks, or even the day before, or even the hour before. It's not necessarily a week. We can go through a week. I've gone through several times through 5 or 6 days where nothing would come and nothing would present itself in a very in a concise way, and then the last day or the last hour or the last 2 hours, suddenly everything is like boom, right there. And so so it's how we are with everything around us, how we are with the information that we receive. And so this portion of the week is kitavo. And it's talking about the blessings that when you come, kitavo el haaretz, asher Hashem noten lecha, which means, and when you shall come. Ki is also the word because, but here in this context it says, and when you shall come to the country, to the land that God gave you, that God provided for you, right? And you will come and you will be in joy, in joy. So there is actually a command to work, to be and to do God's work, or to do any kind of work that is a soul elevated work. This is gratitude, uh, um, thankful, releasing anger, releasing energies that don't serve us. This is actually commanding, actually saying, when you come to work, God, or when you come to elevate yourself, or you're working on yourself, because we are the spark of God, so we can look at it, God as an external, and of course, God as an internal, and a synergy between the external and internal. And so when we're coming to do that work, we're coming to be in that place, to be in joy. That's that's kind of a little a concept to understand, to try and figure out. Is like, how can one? I mean, you can tell somebody, hey, do A, do B, do C. How can you tell somebody be in joy? You have to be in joy when you are coming to worship or doing the work of God, or doing the elevation, even if it is a hard work, to be in joy. Because joy is the matter of the heart, right? It's an emotion, it's a feeling. It's how can one command such a thing? Well, it's actually it's actually to be in that place. To be in that place can be cultivated from one single point. That from that point it will trickle down to everything else. Try to be angry, or try to give gratitude when you are angry, or when you are in anger. You cannot be truly grateful if somebody is in anger, is upset. Right? You cannot really do that. Being grateful actually cultivates the place of joy. Now, there are other tools. There are tools like meditation. And I want to talk today about the Chedva meditation. We'll talk about it later. The Chedva meditation, which is Kabbalistic meditation, cultivates the experience of joy. Right? So be in joy when you work, when you're coming to work God and with the gifts that God gave you. Now, the second part of the sentence is, why is there a distinction, not a distinction, but a mention, a specific mention to the land that God gave you? That God gave you. I mean, obviously God gave me the land. I mean, why is that? Why does there have to be this mentioning that God gave you? So let's think about um, in the old days when there were the presidential parades, right? The presidential car would drive through and through the city, and everybody would stand on the sides. And the old days, the president would have even an open car, and they would drive by. And one person is preparing and going to the parade, and he's standing in front of the front line, and is really excited. He's with his kid, is really excited. The parade is heading over. You can see the parade over there. You can see the president's car over there coming. And as just before the car arrives, the kid is very thirsty. The father, well, too many things to do, didn't bring water. So he turns around to someone and says, "Can I please use your water? Can I drink from your water? Can I give it to my son? He's really thirsty." And it happens that the president car just passed by as the guy is saying to the other guy, "Hey, can I get some water for my kid?" And the president heard that, right? He tells his driver to stop. They stop. He gets up. He takes from his car a bottle of water and gives it to the father, right? So now, wow, the president gave me a bottle of water. Wow, man, this is really great. I mean, I could have gotten it from this guy, but the president actually stopped and gave me a bottle of water. Now you know what will happen later when the man comes home. What happens to that bottle? The bottle will stand on the shelf, probably with a little note. I got this bottle from the president. It's only a bottle of water. It's only plastic. But the occasion was very monumental. So important that he decided to put the bottle on the pedestal and say, "Hey, I got this bottle from the king, from the president. For this matter is for the king, right? From God." So it is the same way. It is the intention of the giving, where it's coming from, really creates a different meaning. We're creating a different meaning from that same bottle. So this is why the words that God gave you. Now, even deeper is the you that God gave you. Our sages say that in the Kabbalah, it says that each person should really look at the world as if the world was created for them. Right? Everybody is unique. There is no one person on earth that looks exactly the same, that has the same fingerprints, no person, every person is unique. The Baal Shem Tov said that the day that you were born is the day that God decided that the world cannot do without you. How profound is that? The day that we were born, the day that you were born is the day that God decided that the world cannot continue without you because you have a story to tell. This is your story. This is my story. And we are, as we go through our life's experiences, we are learning the tools to tell our story. And by learning the tools, through learning the tools, we're also learning what our story is. It's funny. We may not know what the story is, but through the tools that we learn, through the experiences that we go through, we're actually refining our story. So our story is molded as the tools are being given. And this is really a definition or an explanation of what a tikkun is. What are the stages of a growth of a man based on Kabbalah? There is the contraction, there is the break, there is the chaos, right? Where everything is so chaotic. It comes to such a chaotic situation where, exactly like that baby that screamed. I don't know if you heard that. It's like, there you go, there's again. Like everything comes in right synchronization. Where we go, I can't do it anymore. Can't do it anymore. I just give up. I just release. I just surrender. And when we're in chaos and we release, from that chaos comes the shining stars. From that chaos, from that contraction, from that breaking point, up to that breaking point, then we release. And as we are going through pain, or as we are going through learning, or as we're going through suffering, or whatever that is, in that particular moment we're being built. It's just like going to the gym. I'm either pulling weights, pushing weights. It's a resistance that is building. It's the resistance that is building at the same time it's happening. So when there is this chaos and we release, there is this point, this moment between the chaotic moment and the moment where the train is starting to move to the other direction. There is this pause. There is this pause. It's just like going up that roller coaster that I always give that example, and it fits perfectly in so many situations. You go up that first incline. Just before you drop your tuchus, you lift your seat for, it's like levitating for like a second or even less. That moment of silence, it's just like between 3 and 4 in the morning. That moment where it's the most darkest and where the light starts at the same time. So that chaos, when we are in that chaos and we allow these things to, when we release, then we're starting to also experience the build, the rejuvenation. So the moment of chaos, the moment that is taking this time to release, to let go, is the moment where we start also to recognize what is happening, what has happened. Now, we can recognize it also while we are in chaos. We can recognize that what is happening for us, is happening to build us, to help us build. And then when the release is coming, we are understanding. There is an understanding. There is an understanding of what is happening. So tavo is talking about the time when I come to the land and I'm being grateful, I'm recognizing, I'm sifting through all those parts and pieces, sifting through all these parts and pieces that don't serve me anymore. Chaos. Let's go even to creation. Right? Creation, go to Genesis, where God created the first day and the second day. And where does it start? It starts with the evening. Vahi erev, vahi boker yom echad. And there'll be evening and day one. So it starts from the evening. Now in Hebrew, in the Hebrew language, erev come from the words a mess, chaos. And then from that chaos, because everything is a mess, when the night goes down, we don't see very well, we don't see what is going on, we need to have lights, we need to have, so erev. And then boker, morning, actually in Hebrew, boker means order. Everything comes into order, everything has to be in order. So we look at everything in that concept. Let's look at everything from that concept. When I'm in the evening part, when I'm in the chaos, sometimes it is hard to see. And as Rabbi Jonathan Sachs said, the meaning of a system always lies outside of a system. We many times have to go through that chaotic time, past that chaotic time, to recognize the meaning of that chaotic time. What was going on there? What happened there? So that is also going into the place of making meaning. What is meaningful to us? And so when he's talking about the portion about ki tavo and be in joy, is when we recognize, we understand the meaning, we recognize where we are, and we are grateful, we can be in joy. I want to share with you, I want to share with you um, I want to share with you this meditation I was talking to you about, this chedva meditation. This is a Kabbalistic meditation, and it really focuses on the breathing cycle, on how we breathe, and how we breathe and what the breathing really refers to. And so the chedva is four letters words that's describing joy in Hebrew. Now, in English, there is only one word to describe joy. Joy. And in Hebrew, you have 10 synonyms that are describing the joy. And actually, those 10 synonyms are a description of processes that are describing joy. But I want to focus on one word, chedva. Chedva is actually the initial sharp feeling of the experience of joy. The initial feeling. And the initial feeling, for example, would take the beginning of an experience when you realize something is happening. You're really excited to see something, but you never expected it. Think about something you haven't expected, and you're seeing it, and it just causes you joy. For example, you haven't seen your child in 8 years, and suddenly the child knocks on the door. For whatever reason, you haven't seen the child. The child knocks on the door. You have the recognition of what is happening, and it's right. It's like you're first seeing it. Your crown is sending a message to your brain. It sends message to the other parts, so you're understanding, and then you're seeing it, and you're going, this is the sharp. Chedva comes also from the word chad, which is sharp. So this is the first initial experience. Again, if I take the example of the roller coaster, the example of the roller coaster, it's the incline just before you're going down to the main drop. There is that moment that you leave the seat. That is chedva. That is the beginning of the experience, the initial sharp beginning of the experience. Now, because it is a breathing cycle, what happens? When we breathe, we take the air in, we hold, take the air out, we hold. So there are actually four steps that are happening. Four steps that are happening. So if we take this four-letter meditation, chedva, we translate it to the numerological value of each letter. Chet is the eighth letter. Daled is the fourth letter. Vav is the sixth letter. And Hey, again, is the fifth letter. Right? So we're inhaling for 8. Again, it doesn't have to be a timer. It's just counting as is good for you. Inhaling for 8. You hold for the 4. You release for 6. And hold for 5. Now, in the beginning, it's going to be feeling like a task because I got to think how I'm counting. But I promise you, after a few moments, you will not need this counting because it'll come automatically. Now, those of you who know me or those of you who are following me know that I work with letters, I work with frequencies, I work with sound, and each letter has its own frequency and its own importance and how we say what we say. And imagining and meditating on some of the letters actually helps when we're doing this meditation. So if you take these 4 letters, chedva, and you visualize them as you meditate, that helps you also visualize that and also breathe into that. Another important thing is the breathing itself. Many people breathe with the shoulders, meaning you fill your lungs, that's it. But the actual correct breathing is like the babies breathe. It's like singers breathe. It's from the belly. It's filling your belly. To do this exercise, I recommend you laying flat on a bed. Put a book on your belly. And as you breathe, notice how your breath elevates your belly, which means elevating your book and going down. This will induce joy, will induce happiness, and will bring real calmness to everything that you do. You can do it. There's not too many times to do that. So from chaos, we come into clarity. From recognizing what is going on. I mean, these weeks have been a funneling of energies, of things that are happening, of uncertainties, of decisions that need to be made, of how do you make decisions? Am I making the right choice? Is it serving my purpose? Is it serving the journey I'm on? And as we are heading to this time, to the head of the year, and to this weekend, to the head of the year, we're getting more clarity. We're getting more clarity about where we are, where we're going. And this meditation will help and will guide in clearing the intentions. What is the intention? Because behind every word there is an intention, and the intention is the fuel of that word. The intention is the soul. It's like music is the soul of the word. The intention is the fuel, is what moves it forward. So let's take this time and internalize what we're getting. Internalize that understanding that everything that is happening for us, is happening for the good of our journey. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Have fun. Enjoy the sun. Shabbat shalom.